Hello, thrifters. The thrifting curse up here in the Pacific Northwest outside Seattle is gone. So I thought it would be a good time to do a what sold and what I found video. And I really couldn't do a what I found video here for the past 2 to 2.5 weeks because it was nothing. I went to about 2.5 weeks. I found one item, a Panasonic VCR that I got down to $10. They were asking 20 of it. He's got them to 10, and it'll sell for maybe 50 or 55. So not the greatest find, but it was such slim pickings. There was like nothing to be had. But in the past week, all of that has changed. And I think what happened was, and you'll run into this when you're reselling, that there's rhythms to the business. So the yin and yang opposites of Christmas time, holiday seasons, everything that happens at the end of the year where there's a huge demand for items and sales can skyrocket and go through the roof as an eBay reseller. In the spring up here when it's spring break and the weather breaks and it's nice and sunny, everybody wants to be outside and not decluttering their junk drawer to donate things to Goodwill. So it's a little bit empty, but that has changed because I've got a plethora of items here to show you that I have found here in the last probably 5 days, to be honest. And I'll start off with some of my favorites, and it's this right here, this Nikon Coolpix camera. And I picked it up for $12 just a few days ago. I listed it today, and within 2 hours it sold for $175. It is in really nice shape. I listed it as very good to excellent. I never say excellent condition on something because, man, I think that's a huge bar. And if somebody's really picky, I think you can always find something that's wrong. So I say very good to excellent to give that little bit of wiggle room. It also had the charger with it, 3 batteries, and a car charger. So that was a nice thing to pick up. I also picked up a little Sony Handycam. $15. I had to buy a wall charger for $6 off of eBay. So I'm into it for like $21, $22. It'll sell for maybe 55 or 60. So not the greatest find, but I got a sweet spot for these little cameras, Sony Handycams. I like them. They're just fun. And so I picked it up. I'm just going to stick with the cameras because I've got a couple more because, and I talked about it in another video, things to look out for that are profitable. And I'll say it here, and I'm demonstrating it, is point and shoot cameras. They can be worth bucks, so look for them. So we got here a Sony CyberShot, and this one I paid $15 for. Had to buy a wall charger for it, so into this one for about $22, but it'll sell for about $150. And then I've got a Canon PowerShot here. This one I had to buy a wall charger and a battery for it, so I think I'm $12 into it, so maybe about $28 total because it was $15. Right there, right? 15. And so this will go for about $120. And then bringing up the rear, I paid $5 for this one at Vinny's, and I had to buy a wall charger for it as well. See right there. Woo. And this one will sell for maybe 80 or 90, somewhere in there. So there's the cameras. All of a sudden, got boatloads of cameras. I'm always excited about those. So let's shift gears. Some other stuff that I found. I've never sold one of these, but this is a Suunto Traverse. It's a GPS watch, and I paid $4 for it because I had a frequent purchaser card, so it was some money off on it, so I ended up only paying $4, and it looks like it'll go for $100 to $120. And then, hold on, I gotta reach for this one over here. This was actually the first thing that broke the run of not finding anything, and I was really excited to find this because I was like, wow, check this out. So hold on, here we go. A spinning wheel. I've never sold a spinning wheel before, but I was excited about this one because this is the exact same one my mother had when I was growing up, and I paid $70. Did I pay 70? Yeah, $70 for it. I had to buy $15 of parts because it was missing springs. But no big deal there, so 85. But they go for around 200, well, no, actually 300 at the low end, maybe 400, and I've seen some, if they got more items with them, can go for 600. So it's a multi-$100 sale. And it was a little bit of a walk down memory lane. Like I said, my mother had that because We raised rabbits when I was a kid, and my sister had Angora rabbits, which are the long-haired rabbits. And so my mom would just put the rabbit in her lap, sit at the spinning wheel, and then just start pulling the wool off of the rabbit and spinning it directly into the spinning wheel to make yarn. And then she would knit sweaters and scarves out of it. And it was cool. She actually did it at the Indiana State Fair a few years in a row, demonstrating. So question for you. How many of you just learned that Angora is actually a rabbit? Yes, that's what it is. And it doesn't hurt the rabbit at all to pull the wool off of it and to spin it. The rabbit just sits there very peacefully and calm. But moving on, we don't need to talk about Angora rabbits anymore. Something else I picked up is this Yamaha acoustic guitar. I did not play the guitar, but if I did, I would probably be excited about this one because this one is in really nice shape. And it came with a tuner. Whoa, there it is, a tuner. And I forget what they call it now. This little thing here, you put across the strings. When you want to shorten them, I'm not a guitarist. I don't know. I'm sure there's some of you know what that thing is called. But it came with that. I paid $20 and sit up there. Come on. It's going to fall. This is going to fall. It was sitting there so pleasantly. I paid $20 and it looks like it'll go for $100 to $120. And I think it'll go for actually maybe $130 or so because of the tuner. It looks like the tuner itself sells for $20. And then it was calculator time. I've talked about calculators a lot. I found two of these TI-84 pluses today. And usually these go for about $50. But the calculator market is soft right now. They'll only sell them for about $30, and I sold one the other day for $30. And I think that's because it's getting out of school time, not going to school time. And I think that when school starts to ramp up and kids need to buy the calculator, students need to buy them, the price will go back up. It's same with the TI-83s. I got two of these. They look like this. And usually these sell for about $25, but they're kind of soft too, maybe only going for $20. But they're easy money, easy to list, and easy to ship. Now this one, I don't know if you can see it or not. There's a very faint right in the center black spot. That's a pressure mark. That one's so faint that I was all right picking it up, but sometimes it's really dark and you really don't want to get those. So those are some other things that I got from the calculator department. Moving on. I don't know if you can see this or not. This is the iWalk hands-free crutch. And I was really excited to find it. You can see here how you wear it. And I've sold these before, but never new. I've sold two of them used and I did okay money on them, but this one's brand new, sealed in box. I paid $40, so I paid a little bit for it, but it should go for about $130 or so. And it's new in box, so easy to ship, so easy to take a picture and get it sold. I'm trying to sell it locally initially, so I don't have to pay the eBay fees on it, because I've sold them before locally and they've sold really quickly. So it's only been listed for a day. So I'm hopeful. And then I also picked up a Technics equalizer. Paid $10 for it. It looks like it'll go for about $50, which that's not that much money, right? It's not, I hate to say that. Depends on who you are. That could be a lot of money. In the reselling game, turning $10 into $50 is good, but then you got the fees. And the reason I say it's not that much money is because the work that goes into these. I've got to set up my sound system that I use to test it and plug it all in and make sure it works and run it through its paces, and you got to make sure all's well. So it's a lot more work and effort than other items might be, and that's why sometimes I'm like, But I found this. Actually, I've got this before the spinning wheel, so it was breaking I haven't been able to find anything, so I was excited to pick it up. And then we went to an elementary school fundraiser and picked up a couple of Starbucks mugs for 50 cents each. It looks like they'll go for maybe 12. So small, definitely smalls. But, for 50 cents, I can't pass them up. And so what else did I want to talk about? Oh, over my shoulder here, you can see those two. There's one over here, shorter, and then the tall one. Can't point. Candle stands. I picked those up at auction. I'm all into those for $88. I'm not sure what they will go for, but the tall one will easily go for 100 and something, 150 maybe, and then the short one will probably go for about 100 as well. At least I think those are kind of floors on them, so that's why I picked them up. And if they don't move for a lot of money, I'm okay with it. It's kind of fun, and I might keep the shorter one just because it's kind of neat to have around the house. And there was a shorter one about this tall that came with it as well that was included in the 88, which I could probably move for like 40. So stand to make some money on it. So that's some new stuff looking around. Yeah, that's the new stuff that I've gotten. So now all of a sudden I went from not having anything to list to a whole bunch of things to list. But let's talk about some stuff that has sold. I already mentioned the Nikon that sold here for $175. And on that one, I don't have the fees parsed out yet. I should have done that before I started shooting this video. So we'll just skip past that one for the moment. I guess first thing to talk about is the Magnavox DVD VHS combo player. I paid $15 for that. I sold it for $100, and after fees and shipping and everything that goes into that, I put $49.16 in my pocket. Now this next one makes me sad because I lost money. It's a Sawyer Viewmaster. I don't know if you were a kid in the 70s, you definitely had a Viewmaster. Even in the early 80s, you had a Viewmaster. And this one's older, and I thought, wow, this is pretty neat. It's got a light attached to it, and I thought this would probably go for some money. There weren't many that had sold, and it came with some discs that came with it. So I thought I might be able to turn this into some bucks. I paid $25 for it, and after it sat, I just wasn't getting any traction on it. I ultimately took an offer at $20, and so I lost $12.13. But I was happy to just get it gone. It was making me mad when you bought something and you realize you're not going to make money on it. Just good to get it gone. Now, here's some things that I've sat on probably 6 months. These Ottolenghi cookbooks. I paid $6 for them, sold them for $30, and that put $15.62 in my pocket. Shipped them media mail, and all should be well there. And not just the TI calculators you need to look out for, although I don't see these nearly as often. In fact, I found 2 in the little over 2 years that I've been reselling, is these HP graphing calculators. And I paid $8 for this one as well, just like I do for the TIs, but it sold for $100. And then after fees and shipping and everything, I put $70.62 in my pocket, which I'd love to do that all day long. That's the opposite of the equalizer, because as much pain and suffering as it takes to set it up to test it, the calculator is more money, and you can test it in like 60 seconds, and it takes nothing to pack to ship. It's easy. Where the equalizer, you gotta muck around with a box. So anyway, there's some good things there. And then this Brother typewriter. I've had good luck with these before. And this one, it wasn't moving, which surprised me, because usually the Brother typewriters, the daisy wheels, I've never found any other typewriter that's worth anything. Smith Corona or any of the older ones, it's always the Brother daisy wheel. That's the only one that I've ever found that's worth money. And I paid $25 for it, sold it for $100. It was free shipping, so I only profited $19.12. So that really wasn't worth it, particularly since I had to repair it a little bit. Nothing too terribly difficult. But I put a lot of work into it for $20. I think in the past I haven't done free shipping, but I got an offer and I was like, yeah, let's just take it, because it'd been sitting, and I was just like, I'd make some money and move. I think in the past I've been paid shipping, so they've shipped locally and the shipping charges have been less, and so I've made more money on them. But almost $20, it's not the worst thing. And then I did mention that I'd sold a TI-84 Plus that had been sitting for a while. I ended up flipping it for $30. Which was disappointing, because they usually go for more. Paid $8, and so I put $16.22 in my pocket. So Presto pressure cooker, picked it up for $20, sold it for $74, and put $32.25 in my back pocket. Had to sit on it for probably 3 months, I think. I think that's the one going back. Oh, and then this wingnut model, this plain model here. I picked this up for $5, and it sat for a few months, but I ultimately sold it for $155. So I turned $5 into $155, and I put $116.85 in my pocket off of that one. And that was interesting, because Goodwill had it set up on top of a clothing rack far away from the toys or where they normally put such things. And I feel like people were just missing it. And I just happened to notice it sitting out there on an island, and there were a couple other models with it. So I found that even if you only want to go to certain sections in the thrift store, like I usually go electronics, small kitchen appliances, office supplies, and then big electronics. That's where I like to go. But I found that you kind of have to look around and maybe to go to sections you don't normally go to, at least walk through them, because sometimes stuff gets stuck where it doesn't necessarily belong and you can pick things up. Like I found I think it was Zildjian, no, Peisty. I found a Peisty symbol in sporting goods one time and made some okay money on it. So I guess they thought it was a Frisbee. I don't know, it was only like this big. Anyway, so you just look around the whole store. Don't just get stuck where you're always going. Just burn through the other sections because sometimes things get moved. So with that, I think that I will end the video here, but those are new stuff I found and some stuff that has sold. So until next time, happy thrifting.
If you are an eBay reseller or thinking of becoming one because of debt, you should check out the Financial Acumen Course, as seen on World Business with Kathy Ireland. The Financial Acumen Course is designed to teach you all the things you never learned about money, debt, and investments in school, but should have. It teaches you how to take control of your finances with proven principles and strategies to get out of debt and build your retirement nest egg for a wealthy lifestyle. The course is fully narrated and includes videos and animations along with exercises and assignments that are supported by a downloadable workbook. And I spent an afternoon discussing it with supermodel turned businesswoman Kathy Ireland. You can see that conversation over at yourdebtfreefuture.com. The course is not giving financial advice. It is simply teaching concepts that will supercharge your financial literacy and make you more money savvy. To get started, head over to yourdebtfreefuture.com. Until next time, happy thrifting.